up in the Bahamas tonight, a prisoner escapes from the Princess Margaret Hospital. Just how'd he do it? The story coming up in the Bahamas tonight. KFC restaurants in New Providence closed for a second day. We'll tell you what management is saying now. And formal charges filed against a murder accused today. All those stories and more straight ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the search is on tonight for a prisoner who escaped police custody from the Princess Margaret Hospital early this morning. Frederick Green was receiving medical care at the hospital when he made good his escape. Clint Watson spoke to the National Security Minister about what the investigation has uncovered so far.
The successful escape of remand inmate 29-year-old Frederick Green came during the usual quiet time on the wards at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Green, who was being held on 2 counts of armed robbery, was receiving medical attention at the nation's premier health facility when he made good his escape. National Security Minister Tommy Turnquest says a prisoner was on the chest ward under supervision by a prison officer,
who indicated that he had to go to use the restroom, and on his return that the prisoner had escaped. He indicated that he had cuffed the prisoner by the ankle to the bed. And so we are very concerned about that.
Now, this matter is under active investigation by the police as well as the Internal Affairs Unit at the prison. But it raises several pertinent questions. For example, is there a need for additional security when inmates are receiving medical care outside of the prison's walls? As this is not the first time an inmate has attempted or succeeded in an escape while at the hospital.
We are stretched to have more than one person to guard a prisoner at the hospital in those types of circumstances. And as a result, there are protocols in place that, you do cuff the person, and it should be done in such a way that they are not able to mobilize themselves to the extent that they're able to get out. And so we're looking at all the circumstances.
As to whether the safety of staff, patients, and officers were compromised during this ordeal, Minister Turnquest had this to say.
At 4:10 in the morning, we think that didn't happen. We think that it was where the person was able to escape. As I understand, the prison officer is indicating that he saw him get into a vehicle.
Now, late this afternoon, police issued a bulletin looking for Neely. He's also known as Frederick Green. If you have any information regarding Frederick, you're asked to contact police at 911-919-328-TIPS or the nearest police station. We can tell you he's a medium build, brown complexion, and stands about 5 feet 11 inches tall. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
Police have charged 19-year-old Hospital Lane resident Thaddeus Williams in connection with the February 10th murder of 25-year-old Deshante Bain on Scott Street in Baintown. Police say Bain was sitting in a car with others when a gunman opened fire. When he appeared in court today, Williams was also charged with causing grievous harm to Antonio Demerit on the same day. Williams has denied that charge. Following the arraignment, the 19-year-old complained through his lawyer, Murillo Ducil, that he was brutalized while in police custody and denied access to his attorney for 5 days. The court noted Williams' complaints and ordered that he be taken to see a doctor. Meantime, Williams returns to court on May 16th when a voluntary bill of indictment will be filed, and he's also expected to be tried for the grievous harm charge on June 20th. The standoff between more than 300 employees of KFC Nassau and management of the fast food eatery is into its second day. This after 5 months of contract talks ended with no deal. Giovanni Stewart has details of today's happenings.
For a second straight day, all 9 KFC locations remain closed, though staff reported for duty. Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union President Nicole Martin alleges relations turned sour after KFC first tried to cut employees' salaries. Then, facing opposition, said it would leave salaries as they are and defer key benefits like pension fund and health and welfare contributions. She says the bottom fell out when KFC decided not to recognize a union at all, but she credits Labor Minister Dion Folks for certifying the union as the official bargaining agent.
We are very, very happy that it was done. We believe it is actually the right thing to do, and we commend the Minister of Labor for making such a decision.
President Martin says it would have been a catastrophic blow to the trade union movement if KFC was allowed to cancel its voluntary recognized relationship with the union, an arrangement that has been in place for more than 20 years.
Then it would have certainly opened the door for other employers to come behind and to do so. It would have been, in my mind, one of the most drastic blows to trade unionism in our country, and actually it would have represented, in my opinion, at least 50 years of regression as a country.
When KFC employees showed up to work this morning, they found that they were locked out. They also found this sign posted on the front door asking them to call a number and leave a message.
They leave a number on the door, say that we must call whoever wants to work. And I think this is against the law because all the staff would showed up willing to work.
That's another thing that I was ashamed about. You put my pay in the papers. You have to understand that we have a lesser staff than the rest of our competition, and we work 2 and 3 stations.
I came here with my kids because normally after school, sometimes I stop here when they say they want KFC. And I came here pushing the door, and I'm very disappointed.
Attempts to get an update from KFC officials were unsuccessful up to news time. Giovanni Stewart, ZNS News.
Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham has highlighted the role of the church in addressing the social ills of the country. He was addressing the dedication of Evangelistic Temple's new multi-million-dollar edifice on Collins Avenue when he encouraged the church body to continue to leave its mark. Here's Shanique Miller.
Knowing the reach of the church, successive governments have continued pushing the church to the forefront of the fight against crime and other social challenges facing the Bahamas today. The church, with its multi-ministries and capacity to offer healing of a different kind, can affect change. Evangelistic Temple is that kind of church ministry, from private education for those with more discerning tastes and for those residents living in inner-city neighborhoods surrounding the church. Evangelistic Temple sits in one of the busiest districts in the capital. Prime Minister Ingraham talked about the transition of the Palmdale area, but along with that progress came many challenges.
These challenges include matters of spiritual and human development, as well as social justice, and confronting the causes of and instances of violent crime. In this spirit, the cultivation and insistence on personal and social responsibility requires faith-based responses and public-private partnerships in pursuit of the common good and in the socialization of a new generation of young people in this country.
Even as the government's volunteer program takes root, Prime Minister Ingraham urged the church to seize the opportunity to impact more lives.
I invite churches such as yourselves to help swell the army of volunteers and outreach to our urban centers and boys and adolescent males in need of mentoring and communities of compassion and networks of care. Not far from here, we dedicate this temple of worship and love our young people and hurting spirits in need of your ministries of faith and fellowship. Our young people are captivated by social media and advanced communication technologies. You can use such media and technologies to reach their hearts and their imaginations. But none of these means will ever substitute for the most direct communication in the world between two human hearts.
Also worshiping with the celebrating Evangelistic Temple congregation was opposition leader Perry Christie. He talked about their work with youth in communities nearby and encouraged them to stay the course.
I have been a part of witnessing and sharing in a part of the outreach of this church. And this church has impacted the community that I represent.
Christie talked about how the church's outreach efforts have even touched the Farm Road Marching Band.
The measure of this church will continue to be not by the magnificence of the edifice, but by the work you do what you continue to do to build the lives and inspire the young of our country.
And now, what has become primarily a healthcare central here in the capital, Collins Avenue in Centerville, now has a showpiece where those seeking another kind of healing can be healed.
May the Lord of new beginnings bless you with his spirit as you embark on this new day.
Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, there were some proud students at Palmdale Primary today. We'll tell you why coming up.